Ahoy! I'm Eddie, the Skinhead Gourmet. Today we're going to be doing hot Greek salad beggar's purses. Alright, so to start, we're going to be cooking everything in a saute pan. So we're going to want to get this onto a high heat. And we're going to get a little bit of oil, put that into the saute pan here. Just get a nice light coating on the bottom. Just want to make sure this is around. And we're going to put in some diced up green pepper, some diced up tomato. I've got some sliced red onion. And we're going to put that in with some diced up Greek olives. And then I've got a little bit of diced garlic. And we're going to finish that off with a half and half mix of oregano and parsley leaf. Alright, so now we got everything in the pan. We're just going to want to mix this up. And we want this cooking on a high heat. We're going to let this all cook down together. Then we're going to start adding the rest of our ingredients. That's what them say to me. Do you really thought we leave it this way now? We're gonna blow you off. Do you really thought we leave it this way now? We're gonna blow you off. One thing, once we get our stuff started in the saute pan, we're going to want to get our oven turned on to about 450. Let that get preheated so it'll be nice and hot when we're ready to put it. Alright, now once our tomatoes, peppers, and onions and everything else have cooked a bit, we're going to start adding some of our spinach in there. I want to just get that right on top so that can start to wilt down. We're also going to take some of our diced on mushrooms and put them in there. And now we're just going to want to start getting this all mixed up. Who's gonna pay for the lost in my time? Is it so hard for us to reach out of the cage? Easy out, free your mind. All you gotta do is gang by my side. Do you really thought we leave it this way now? We're gonna blow you off. Do you really thought we leave it this way now? Alright, once your spinach starts getting that nice deep green and everything else starts getting kind of soft, we're going to take a little bit of balsamic vinegar, splash that around, and we're going to take some of our feta, put that cheese right in there on top, and as soon as we're done doing that, we're actually going to want to turn off the heat. We just want to get this all mixed up. This is going to be ready to start dumping into our dough. Alright, now that I've got all the filling for these hot beggar's purses done, we've let it cool down for a minute. You're going to want to drain them just a little bit. You're going to want to take a small little handful of dough, and you're just going to want to more or less stuff it in there and just bring the dough up so that you just have a nice little closed off ball. It's alright to let some of the juice come out. It'll end up caramelizing nice once it hits the oven. Okay, so with our little bit of dough, you just want to put some of your mixture of spinach, onions, peppers, tomato, mushrooms, and all that cheese together, and just take the dough and fold it up over it. It's going to be a little tricky at first until you get used to it. Your first 2 or 3 balls probably won't look hot, but trust me, the more you go along, the easier it'll get, and you just want something that's nice and closed off.
Up this way, where I like to be, when I'm at home with my friends and family. So buy a fucking cake, let's get a fucking home, let's get fucked up, shoot some guns on that fucking lawn.
Alright, one problem that you may face dealing with such a wet filler for this is sometimes the dough doesn't want to hold. One of the best little sneaks that I can tell you, get another piece of dough, kind of make like a little ribbon for it to put across the top. That way it'll hold together. It's not going to pop apart and make a mess of your baking sheet. It'll also give it a nice little, make it look a little bit more ornamental. You don't have to let people know it. our little hot Beggar's purses. We're going to finish them off. A quick dab of honey on top of each one. You don't need to put a lot because it's going to melt down while it's cooking. It's just going to help bring a little extra sweetness to balance out that balsamic vinaigrette. Then you just want to get a little bit of shredded, any sort of shredded Italian cheese. I'm using a Parmesan Reggiano. You can use Romano, Locatelli, Asiago, pretty much any cheese that fits your fancy. Just want to get a little bit. It's going to be great once it melts down on these guys in the oven.
Let's get fucked up and shoot some guns!
So now that we've got them all put together, we're going to take our dough balls, we're going to put them into our oven that we preheated at 450. We're going to give these guys about 15 to 18 minutes. They'll start getting brown and puffing up a little bit. I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Alright, we've let 15 minutes go by. And these guys are starting to get nice and brown. You can see that cheese has started to cook and get nice and crispy on top. They come right up off the pan. This right here, deliciousness in a handful. These are our hot Greek salad Beggar's purses. Thanks for watching. I'm Eddie, Skinhead Gourmet.